Good morning and welcome to Waking Up with Waffles, the series where we get up early in the morning and play video games. We are back at Helldiving today, if you can believe it. The big board game just got announced and launched, and we have pre-ordered it. I am super hyped to play that and talk about that. So we're back at Helldivers until we can go do that. We've got a new major order. We have to liberate Wezen or liberate Tandor. Let's see, we got 3,000, 4,000, 700. What do we got over here? We got 200, 400, and 14,000. Okay, looks like people have chosen to come liberate this. So let's go liberate this planet. Chriselle, welcome in. How's it going this morning? Let's go liberating. Oh, I forgot we need to change my sound. That would probably help.
FTL jump
there we go.
successful.
You don't get any of this? Don't get Helldivers or streaming? What part? That's a little too loud. Let's there we go. Drop that a little bit more. All right, we got to launch an ICBM. Looks like we've got a lot of stuff going on this map. So we're gonna try. We've just unlocked the hover pack, so let's try our hover pack. It's not morning for you? Yeah, that's I stream way early in the morning for me, so I usually get people from all over the world. Let's try this. Let's try the hover pack. Don't understand Helldivers. So Helldivers is just like a big PvE game. So you grab your buddies and you just go try and liberate the planet from the enemies. It's like the lore's not super deep. It's just go run around and have fun with your friends is what a lot of people get out of the game. Let's grab the laser cannon. Let's grab orbital laser and a fortification device. There we go. Okay. That should be good. But yeah, you're just, trying to liberate the planets for Super Earth, so trying to destroy as many enemies of Super Earth as possible. It's got a lot of like Starship Trooper vibes or Warhammer vibes. If you've played any of those or watched any of those, it's very along those lines where you're just trying to destroy all the enemies of Super Earth as quickly as possible. Okay, we landed in a good spot here. The convoy is coming, so let's set up an ambush for this convoy here. Okay, where are they coming from? So they're going to be showing up right over there. So if we put an anti-tank emplacement right about here, I bet we can take them out. And hopefully more people will join me because we're gonna need more. We're gonna need more bodies. The graphics are giving Star Wars. That's funny. A lot of when I post my videos to YouTube, it'll automatically give like suggestions for what it thinks it sees, and it always suggests Star Wars. So you're not alone in that. I think they could very easily do Star Wars crossovers or make it a Star Wars game. Oh, I'm looking the wrong way. That's the problem. It's coming from behind. Oh, I'm dumb. That's the problem here. It's behind us. Well, this ambush is going very poorly then. Well, that's
Yo, turn to your left. Turn to your left. S1, turn left.
This is going to go very badly for us then, because apparently I am not very smart. Let's blow up these towers. I guess let's do as much damage as we can from here as possible.
You want want to intercept those first, or what? Where are they? Are they almost off the map? Are they just starting? They're just starting.
Dropping a pin. East.
All right, let's go take those guys out.
Destroyer joining squadron. Deploying Helldiver to combat zone.
300 meters.
Smart trust. I just can't believe I should have checked that first. To be honest, I can't believe I didn't look what way they were walking. All right, let's go ambush these guys. We want to take out this walking convoy. I do have my laser up and ready already, so you know, and we'll have a.
Sub-objective nearby.
Throwing supply beacon.
Looks like my thing. Yeah, it'll come back in 30 seconds, so we can do this.
Boss. East. 100 meters.
We got this. As long as they don't start picking a fight with other things. We don't need to fight other things right now. We need to fight. We need to concentrate on the convoy.
Outpost cleared.
Okay, here they are.
Requesting fortification. Requesting orbital.
Here we go. Shoot it in the eye. That's one down. Oh, they landed right on me. That's not good. They're really mad at me. Oh, they're angry. All right, let's make some space here. And I'm downrange. I'm just in the worst possible place right here. But we can make this work. We can make this work. We just gotta let's take this air unit out. Gets your heart pumping, right? So that's what I love about this game is things go so like so sideways, so fast that you just get this absolute chaos, but you still feel like you can do it. There's definitely a way to overcome it. It's just it feels so good when that chaos just starts going bonkers on you. Okay, there he is. Last one alive. Let's laser him right in the eye. All right. That is problem solved right there. And now we need to take that out because those flying units are real annoying. Speak of the devil, there they are. Ooh. That guy is not very happy about that. Blew up his friends. So the board game. The board game was way more expensive than I thought it was going to be. So I pre-ordered the everything edition, the version of the board game that comes with everything, all the figurines, all the Helldivers, all the expansions, all the tanks, everything, and it is $320 to pre-order everything, which is a little steep, but you know I love Helldivers. I've been making Helldivers content for over a year, so I figured it is worth the investment. The game probably will take, what, like a year to make and be shipped out, so it'll be a while before I review it, but I am going to do a day one review of it. Yeah, everything. So it looks like they have a base edition that comes with 4 Helldivers and then like your basic Terminid enemies, but if you get the edition that has everything, you get all the Terminids, all the robots, all the stratagems, additional models for mechs that you can pilot, additional maps, and then there's 2 mystery expansions if they raise enough money.
Clear the air.
And I'm guessing that that is going to be the Illuminate. So it's everything, but it still is a very steep cost. Do you get a costume with it? You do not. That is just the minifigs. That channel, welcome in. I know that is a obnoxious price for a game. It is going to be the largest and most expensive board game I own by far. Hopefully I enjoy it, because if I don't even like the game, that's going to be a problem. But I understand, like, miniatures cost a lot. Like, if you like Warhammer, right? I used to be a big Warhammer person. A box of 5 Warhammer figures could be almost $100. If you get like one big figure, they charge $100 for just one figure. So I understand that it can cost a lot of money to make miniatures, but yeah, $300 was very steep. This has been like the worst week in history for my wallet, because the board game was $300, so I pre-ordered that. The processor in my computer broke, so I had to go buy a new processor. And then there was a new camera that was coming out, and it wasn't supposed to come out for a couple months. Like, I thought 6 months before I'd get the camera, and they surprise launched it last night. So I ended up having to buy the board game, the camera, and a new processor for my PC. So I have massively overspent. Like, I'm not going to be allowed to buy anything for probably a couple months to make up for all that spending. Yeah, my wallet is broke. How does one break a processor? Apparently, so I had the i9 1400 KF series, and apparently the KF series was notorious for having problems. And I was one of the lucky people who bought one that apparently just broke. Apparently they burn themselves out very fast. They're very poorly made. So I was one of the lucky people who got one of the very poorly made ones. So that was $600 down the hole.
I got the terminal.
Okay, I hear bots, but I don't see bots. There they are. Don't know about lucky. Yeah, it is a little bit of misfortune, but I guess it's one of those things where, like, it sucks. It really sucks, but I am fortunate enough to have the disposable income to be able to replace it, so I guess there is, you know, lucky me in that manner that I could afford to splurge like I did this month. Very blessed for that, so thank God for that, because without the processor, the computer doesn't work, right? So it was almost like, okay, well, I guess there goes the streaming career, right? I guess I'm done streaming, because without a PC, I can't really do much. So I definitely don't take that for granted. Very thankful that I was able to do that. All right, that one's done. Let's go turn on some oil. We were saving up. We were originally going to do a big vacation this year. We're going to try and go to Washington, D.C., because I had heard that the relics of St. Thomas Aquinas were on display. We wanted to go see the relics of St. Thomas Aquinas at the big National Catholic Cathedral. So I was getting really hyped for that, and we were saving for that. And then it turns out the article that I had read about going and seeing those was actually a year old, and the relics had already come and gone. So I still want to go to DC. You know, there's still some great museums there. There's a lot of history. Emmy and I have always talked about going to visit Maine, Rhode Island, you know, seeing the leaves change and all the wonderful things there. It's just not as big of a priority if the relics aren't on display. So we will make it there eventually. You know, we got tons of places we want to visit, and that's why Like, I try not to buy things. I know I'm going to sound like the world's biggest hypocrite when I say I try not to buy things after talking about dropping $2,000 on cameras, processors, and everything else, but I really am tired of all the clutter I have in my house, and I'm trying not to buy things. And I'd much rather spend money on, like, a trip somewhere. You know, Japan, Ireland, Vatican, Washington, D.C. experiences over having just more stuff, you know? So that is the hope, is that we just get more vacations, more experiences, less stuff hanging around the house. Here's, you're so cool. Thank you. I needed that today. I have been struggling with depression for probably about 4 days. It's been pretty there, and it's not going away. It's very annoying. I don't know if you can describe depression that way, but it is just lingering. So it's always nice to get a little boost. I always appreciate hanging out with y'all in the morning and talking with y'all. It definitely does help. Usually retail therapy helps a whole lot. You go and buy a bunch of things, but lately retail therapy doesn't work for me, because it's just, like I said, it's just buying more clutter and more junk, and I just don't want it. How long have I been playing Helldivers 2? I've been here since day one. I played the game on launch. I have probably over 120 Helldivers videos. I've been making tons of videos for the game. I am a huge supporter of the game. My only regret is that I did not pre-order the game, because I did not play Helldivers 1, so when I was looking at it in the Steam store, I was like, you know, I've never played the first one. This looks really cool, but I'm going to wait for a couple reviews to come out. And then as soon as it launched, I bought it anyways. So I should have just pre-ordered it, so I could have got the super cool pre-order armor, but I didn't. Bubble's here. Good morning, Bubble. How are you doing today? That is my one Helldivers regret, is that I do not have the super cool blue armor. I wouldn't wear it anyways because it doesn't use any of the perks that I like, but I would have liked to have the super cool blue armor just to be a part of the in crowd, you know? Be one of the few elite who have that, but only 670 people so far have pre-ordered the board game, so I guess I'm going to be one of the elite with the whole board game package, so I guess I can humble brag about that.
Mission progress logged.
All right, we've got one more side objective we haven't done. I saw it way off in the distance up there. We gotta go find the artillery shells, but the kid is sick again? Is he in like a preschool program or anything? Because I've heard that that's like every time you send them to a school or a daycare or anything like that, they're just going to come home with every germ known to man. Emmy and I have been talking so much about kids lately. I am very excited and hopeful that we will start that chapter of our lives soonish and be parents. Although I'm going to tell you, it's going to be very hard because, you know, photographer, streamer, I like to document everything. I like to take pictures of everything. I like to do all that. And we have discussed it at length, and we don't want to be those parents who post our kids all over the internet or use the baby for clout or, you know, try and get likes and views from having children. So we're not going to post anything related to our kid, again, hopefully someday, God willing, online. And that's going to be so tough for me because I know all I'm going to want to do is take photos and make stories and do all those sorts of things. But you just see all these kids who are their entire life is posted online and they have no control over it. And how are they going to feel in 10, 15 years when they can finally go online themselves and they see all these pictures of them? And I don't want to do that to our kid, you know? Each time he looks to the left, it looks like he's disappointed in me and staring like, Dad, I promise I'm not disappointed in you.
Watch out, F3.
So humble. You know what? I wouldn't want it done to me, so why would I do it to my kid, you know? Like, and there's a lot of even worse things, right? There's the really gross parents out there who are knowingly showing off their kids in swimsuits so that the gross adults who are into that can purchase photos of their kid in swimsuits. Like, they're knowingly full-on exploiting their kids for money, and it's just...
Watch out behind him.
People do the grossest things for the love of money, right? And I don't even want to start scratching that surface. I want nothing to do with that. All right, I think that was the entire call-in. I think we got this. Yeah, okay.
Engaging terminal.
Oh yeah, it's a horrible problem. Instagram especially has that issue. If you go looking for it, which I'm not going to encourage anyone to go looking for it because it's a whole gross and terrible thing, but if you go looking for it, you can find accounts where basically it's a 13-year-old girl in a swimsuit, and all she does is take inappropriate poses in the swimsuit, and then there will be they'll have a message that says, like, if you want to have a private conversation with Kaylee, or if you want a private photo session with Kaylee, all you have to do is like and subscribe and then DM mom for $500, and then you too can have a private... And they're literally selling their children to these predators. It is horrendous.
Activating jump pack.
I saw the samples. I think someone grabbed them. I am very bad about grabbing samples.
Calling down fortifications.
Dad Challenge podcast here on YouTube. He exposes it all. Or they put the photo. Yeah, the photos are usually behind a paywall. They do the whole, like, the first one's free and then the rest are behind a paywall. What did I just hear? We're talking about the horror that is people exploiting their teenage children for money on YouTube and TikTok and all those places. It's a real problem. And so this is... All right. Unpopular opinion time. As you know, it's always time for my unpopular opinions. This is why we need to hold both people and the platforms accountable. People want to say, oh, well, you know, it's just it's not YouTube's fault. It's the people who are abusing it. No, it is. It's fully TikTok's fault. They need to be held accountable for having that content on their website. They need to face fines and potential shutdowns and other things. And
stuff there.
I would not mind, and I know this is the most unpopular opinions. That's why I'm prefacing this with my unpopular opinion tag. I wouldn't mind if they required, like, a license to use the internet so that we could fully track those people. So if you're bullying people, it's tracked to your license and you can be kicked off the internet. If you're out there buying skeevy pictures of little kids on TikTok, you're kicked off the internet. I think we need to hold both the platforms and the people fully accountable for it. And that is not the only way, and I won't say the best way, because obviously there's going to be people who find ways around it. But there's so many people who are willing to just say, well, you know, we can't solve the problem 100%, so there's no point in doing anything. Like, yes, we can't solve the problem 100% of the way, but we can do something about it. And there's so many people who are unwilling to do anything about it because it won't fix it 100%. Like, it's better to do something than it is to just sit there and do nothing, you know? Send their information to 4chan. You know, 4chan is not what it used to be. I was one of those neckbeard, fedora, edgy kids who hung out on 4chan. That was me in a previous life. And 4chan used to be way, way, way worse than it is now. They are less offensive, obnoxious than they've ever been. I don't know if they're maturing. I don't know if it's just because the site is now full of the older generation and the younger generation just doesn't know about it. But it is weird to see, you know, 4chan isn't the wildest place on the internet anymore. I guess that's good to see. Problem is that people who are exploiting their kids bring the platform views and therefore money, so they'll never get rid of them. Yeah. That is exactly the problem. Once again, the love of money has caused people to do absolutely horrible and terrible things. Yes, I am ashamed. I am deeply ashamed of the person that I was, as we all are, right? We were all cringy teenagers who did cringy things and said cringy things and were involved in it. Like, that's just a part of growing up. I think someone once told me, and I really love the way they put this, was basically, it's good to be ashamed of who you were because it means that you're growing. If you aren't ashamed of who you were as a teenager, then you haven't grown, and that is a bad thing. And that made a whole lot of sense to me. Like that, yeah, that makes sense to me. So I'm glad to have grown from who I was, but it still makes me cringe. Oh, that was a direct hit. Okay, we got 2 minutes. We got to do this objective in 2 minutes before the plane comes. Can we do it? This month is Overwatch Pro. Man, I haven't touched Overwatch in forever. I was a part of the beta and alpha teams for Overwatch, but I stopped playing it pretty fast. It's not for me. You know, all those games are not the over competitive shooters. I am not skilled enough to compete, and I don't hate myself to break my head against the wall trying to be better at those games. So, you know, I mostly avoid them. I still tinker around on them for fun every now and then, but I understand I will never be good at those games. Some of the greatest news I've heard is that those 3 stupid, obnoxious bloggers like Jack Doherty and Johnny Somali are getting punished. I've heard people talking about Johnny Somali a little bit. I don't know anything about him because I try to avoid that whole world, but I've heard that he is getting punished, and I know that people are happy about that, so I assume it's probably a good thing. Do you play Marvel Rivals? Ooh, that's a lot of people. Yes, I did start playing Marvel Rivals. I did not play it for super long, but I did start playing it. The other problem with games like that is I love to be a healer. Like, playing support and healing is like my favorite way to play those games, and being a healer in an online game like that just invites so many people to be absolute jerks to you for no good reason. So, you know, you'll get non-stop bullied. I am a Jeff the Shark main. Speaking of being bullied, I am a Jeff the Shark main, so that is a problem. We need one more and we'll be done with this objective. Come on. So admittedly in my country, Philippines is known for generous hospitality and torture prisons. Jack Doherty crashed his car for clout. Johnny Somali was just a jerk to other people. There was a guy who crashed a plane for clout. Did you all see that dude? He literally filmed himself intentionally crashing his aircraft, and he got investigated by the FAA. I think he avoided prison but got a huge fine for intentionally crashing an airplane and endangering people. I only play healers. Yeah, I love healers. That's all I play in those sort of games. But being a healer is a thankless job, especially in a game like Marvel Rivals. Jeff makes me laugh. Jeff is an absolute monster, but I also like Rocket Raccoon. Because my favorite kind of healer in a game is the kind of support and healer who's like, I will make sure that you do not get hurt. And the way that I ensure that you do not get hurt is I will destroy the enemies. Like, healers who can heal through DPS or who can dish out as much damage as they can heal is my favorite sort of trope. I love the healers who are just as deadly as the DPS. Medic mains don't get treated right. You're never doing enough. That's why, like, World of Warcraft has like the dungeons. I love being a healer, but being the healer in dungeons, you get yelled at for every single mistake, things that aren't your fault. People will stand in bad things and then get blown up by it and then cry, why didn't you heal me through it? It's like you're standing in the bad. You can't heal stupid is what that is the mantra of most healers, is you can't heal stupid. I did play Luna a little bit. My other problem with Marvel Rivals, and Luna's a part of it, but Emma, is it the new character Emma Frost, that are really becoming a problem, is they way over sexualize the game. Like, it feels like 80% of Marvel Rivals now is butts, and that's a problem. All right, gamer. Have a good night. Get some good sleep. And it feels so unnecessary because the game is fun. They've got a decent game there. They don't need to sell out to the quote gooner crowd. They don't need to over sexualize everything for money. Like, they've got a solid game there, and it's just pity that they're selling out in that way. It's like, my bad, man, I can't heal you when you jump 1v4 into getting jumped and curb stomped. Yeah, like Spider-Man jumping in the back lines, and you're trying to fight Spider-Man while you're healing everyone else, and your DPS is just running around getting slaughtered. It's so frustrating.
Good job.
So frustrating. You know, I have my phone set to download new games that come out because I just like to play mobile games. I like to know what's out there. And like half the games that come on my phone I have to delete within 10 seconds because it's very clear like the game is just a copy paste of a different game. But look, we've got anime waifus, and that's the entirety of the game. It's like, we're gonna sell you on this because it's got waifus, and that's it. Like, that's not a game. I'll use Genshin Impact as an example. I enjoyed Genshin Impact. I definitely disagree with parts of it. Like, clearly that they go into the gooner fantasy a little bit as well, and the gotcha impacts are a little abusive towards gambling 100%. But like, there's still a solid game in there. Like, it's still a good game at its core. And they don't have to do those things. I understand that once again, they're just trying to get money, but there is a solid game there at least. It's even worse when there's just not even a solid game in there, you know? People complain about the sexualization like Psylocke and Emma, but have no problem with Half-Naked Scan or Venom having the biggest cake. I honestly really am upset that Venom got the twerk emote. I feel like that was such an unnecessary... Again, it's the over-sexualized, no reason for it. I get that it was a joke within the community, but again, it was so unnecessary that I really, truly do not like that they gave that emote to Venom. I would also like a world where I just don't see twerking in general. I would be very happy if that... do you call it a trend? If that just disappeared forever, I would be okay with that. I'm okay with a world with no twerking in general, whether it be real life or video games or whatever it may be. Like, I used to work at Wells Fargo, the bank, and then they laid me off. But before I got laid off, we had an entire branch that is no more. The entire branch got cleansed because the manager thought it would be a good idea during the heyday of like all the twerking. They got all the tellers and bankers, and the manager themselves went and shot a video of them in the bank jumping up on the counters and twerking. And then obviously the bank got really upset that they would post a video of the bank without permission with the manager twerking on the counter. Yeah, so I'm glad that trend is going away, but I can't believe all those people threw their career over for a stupid internet trend. Dex is here. Good morning, Dex. All right, let's chop the fangs off that thing, and let's get into a better position here. These cliffs are making it very hard to take that thing down. See, if you call an automaton a clinker with a hard R, is it racist or space racist? I mean, you gotta lean into it, right? Like, you're very obviously the bad guys in Helldivers. You might as well roll with it, right?
Activating jump pack.
It has the same problem as Warhammer does, where like most people can see that you're playing the bad guys. It's satire, it's fun, but every now and then you run into people who can't tell that the game is a fantasy, and they get a little bit into the racism, and it pours over into real life, and then it becomes a problem. And Warhammer is the worst with this. Like, I don't play Warhammer anymore. I got out of it, but man, there's the stereotypes about Warhammer players exist for a reason, and there are truly Warhammer players who cannot tell the difference between a satirical fantasy game and real life, and it's so frustrating. Oh, there's 3 of them. Okay, are they all gone? Is that everyone?
For prosperity!
That's everyone. Warhammer can get interesting. So I played Kill Teams, which is like Warhammer Light. It's just a smaller version, less units, that sort of thing. So my main team was 6 Space Marines, and since there were 6 of them, I thought it would be funny / clever to paint them like My Little Ponies, because there's the main 6 of My Little Pony, right? So I was like, oh, okay, well, 6 Space Marines, 6 ponies. So I painted them like My Little Ponies. Half of the community was really cool. They really loved my Little Pony Space Marines. The other half gave me the most obnoxious and horrible threats because I dared to have my Space Marines be My Little Ponies. They were legitimately upset, like sending me hate mail and saying the most terrible things in the world to me because I dared to paint my Space Marines cute and girly. It was just like the most fascinating thing to see people getting so upset over something that mattered so little. And like we've talked about the go touch grass meme before, and that, you know, I don't like saying it, but there truly are some times where that is the diagnosis, is you need to go touch grass. If you're getting that upset over the way someone paints their Warhammer figurines, there is something seriously wrong with you, and you need to get into therapy and get help ASAP, because that is not a proper reaction. And I understand, like, if you like the lore and you enjoy the world, like, I can understand saying like, hey, that's not canonical, so I don't like it because it's not canonical. I'll say, okay, you know, that is your right to not like something that is not canonical. I understand that. I can respect that. But when it gets to the point of sending threats over it, it's like, okay, you've moved from fan into the weirdo category now. Sometimes people go online just to hate stuff. Oh, without a doubt. And that goes back also, like I said, to that we need to hold both people and the online platforms accountable. Definitely people go online to troll and say stupid things. I used to be one of those people. I used to go online to troll people because I thought it was funny. And both the platform and I should have been held accountable for doing those stupid things and not allowed to ruin other people's days and hurt other people in that way. And yet we just allow it.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that guy hit me real bad. Okay. They should add a mechanic that determines how easily you're seen and targeted based on how you blend in the colors like real life. I would love if they gave us more to the armor, so like a camouflage system would definitely make me very happy if we got a camouflage system, or just the ability to change the way the armor looks, because I wear the butcher armor, which looks like a really horrible Christmas tree.
P is capital and the P is capital.
So they're they have said that they are working on a armor redoing the armor, so there should be a big armor switch up here soon. I've also seen some people talk about some data mining around making, you can do like the weapon adjustments where you can tinker with your weapons, change scopes, kind of play with how they work. So I'm really hoping that with that mechanic also comes like a new armor mechanic. Yes. Like I said, I was once a very awful and angry teenager to young adult who did and said terrible things. I was a terrible person who treated people terribly and did so many things that I regret. That is part of my platform, is trying to help people see the error of that so they don't have to live through and make the same mistakes that I did. When I was about 20 to 24, I was working a job I absolutely hated. I was super mad at the world. I was just miserable. I was trapped in a job that I hated. I hated people, and I could not find any reason to change my mind. And I'm so glad I grew out of that and found God and found purpose and hope and a way to be better than getting stuck in that angry vitriol that was just slowly killing me. How do you feel about iron sights? You know, I pretty much only use the crossbow, so I don't really use the iron sights too much because the crossbow to me is just the best weapon in the entire game, so I don't see any reason to grab any other weapon because the crossbow is just so good. I wouldn't mind if the robots use thermals and other units use other things, like the Illuminate use sight, the robots use thermal, the bugs, allegedly the bugs use smell. I don't know if I believe that one or not, but that allegedly they do. All right, let's help out with that guy up there. Can't quite see his eye, but I can deal some damage to his underbelly probably. That tank is down. The walking tank is down. All right, I think we got him. Okay. Good. Now, we need to find the place where we're supposed to put down the beacon.
Activating jump pack.
I guess we can do this one first. Right there?
Sample collected. Throwing supply beacon.
Objective critical
Yeah.
stratagem available.
Objective equipment.
Okay. We found it.
Objective critical stratagem no longer available.
I'll tell you, I love the night shift, though. I worked for Wells Fargo for a long time in the call center, and I worked from like 6 p.m. till 3, 4 a.m. Loved that shift, but man, that job was soul-sucking and awful, and it brought out the worst in me, because there truly were people who talk about like how awful some customers can be. Those memes are absolutely true. I'll tell you one of my favorite stories, though. Tell you two of my favorite stories from customers that I had, now that I can really talk about it because I don't have to risk getting fired from Wells Fargo anymore. There was this lady, and I could feel my soul draining out of me as I talked to her, because she had the most obnoxious and ridiculous, like, mannerisms. So she called in and had a bunch of questions about her account. Nothing wrong with that. People have questions. That's why you're calling into the bank, because you have questions about your account, and I'm happy to answer those questions. That is my job, so I will do it. But the way she started every question is just burned into my mind, because this happened like 12 years ago, and every question she would start the same way. She'd go, "Can I ask you a question? What the dollar in my account? Can I ask you another question? What the penny in my account? Can I ask you a question? When the bank close? Can I ask you a question?" And she did that for 10 minutes. And it just, Oh my goodness, it is burned into my mind. The way that she said, "Can I ask you a question?" The other one, Killer Cod, welcome in. The other one that is burned into my mind was this lady who called, and immediately as soon as she picked up the phone, like her smoke alarm was going off. So you just hear like all these alarms are going off in the background. And she calls in and she's just screaming into the phone. And she says, "My house is on fire. What's my balance?" What? Your house is on fire and you're asking for me to check your balance? You just ruined my day. Believe me, in the moment, I was like, I need a cigarette. I used to smoke. That job made me smoke. I had to walk away after that call, but my house is on fire. What's my balance? I still think about like, why did you stay on the phone? Like, I get that you were on hold, but I think you have more important things going on in your life right now. So go take care of those things. Why are you talking to me right now? Those two stand out in my mind. That is, to this day, I wonder what were they thinking on half of those interactions. But of course, for every story like that, there was also the absolute monsters out there. Like this one guy who I remember who told me, because I refused to waive his $35 overdraft fee, he said that someday he hopes that I have a daughter who can be assaulted and hit by a car in front of me because I won't give him $35. So like, for every funny story, there's also massive amounts of abuse. And this was back in those days. Wells Fargo's policy was you were not allowed to hang up on customers. So they're allowed to abuse you and mistreat you however they want to. You have to sit there and take it. You are not allowed to hang up on them or you can get fired. I feel like those were prank calls, but not the monster ones. You know, I hope so. We definitely had our share of prank calls, but I'll tell you, the people who got the most mad, I'll never understand why Wells did this fully, but here we are.
To the side.
The idea was that if you disconnected the phone call and you called back in, the system would automatically route you back to the same person you were talking to. And the idea behind it was that, like, oh, if you get accidentally disconnected, you can talk to the same person again. Like, that's so convenient. But in practice, what it meant was people would call in, they'd get mad at you because you won't give them their money back or whatever. They'd get angry, they'd hang up the phone, and then they would call back and they'd be like, "That last person was such a jerk. I hate them. Please help me." Say, "Oh, well, you know, I'm the same person." The phone routes you to the same person. So it's me again. And then they'd get angry and then they would hang up and they'd call back in. It's like, "I want to talk to somebody else." Well, the phone's going to keep routing you to me. So you can't talk to someone else. You're just going to keep talking to me. So, you know, either accept my answer or call back in tomorrow when it's my day off, because the phone has set you to talk to me. So good luck. And because I work the night shift, well, there wasn't a whole lot of people calling in, so they would just get me over and over and over again. And so you talk to the same person sometimes 5, 10, 15 times in the same night, and they just progressively get more and more angry every time they talk to you because I don't want to talk to you anymore. Stop it. And our policy was you're not allowed to transfer them to someone else. You have to service that phone call. So, all right, that's what I'm doing. They would get so upset. I am very glad to have escaped that whole world, though. I definitely don't want to. I don't think I'll ever return. I'm happy with my job now. I'm happy with where I'm at. I don't think I will ever go back on the phones because of anxiety, for one. But two, it just the pay wasn't worth it. The pay was not worth the abuse. So I will never go back to banking. I would consider, though, when I left the bank, so this is one of those one of those boomer dream things, right? If you work hard and stay with a company for a long time, then you can work your way up from the mailroom to CEO. And I didn't quite do that, but I mean, I did work my way up. That part was absolutely true. Like, I started as a part-time teller, like the lowest of the low, the very basic entry-level position. And by the time I left Wells Fargo, I was a business consultant. Like, I truly worked my way up. If you go prone, you can climb steep surfaces? Really? I haven't ever done that. Okay, so that one's too steep to crawl up, so if I go prone, can I crawl up it? Oh, it looks like this one might be too steep still. Oh, I hear people calling in. Oh, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Let's get our anti-tank device up.
Calling down fortifications.
But so yeah, I mean, I worked my way up, and I understand why a lot of people are discouraged now, because I really don't think there are too many jobs left where you could do that, where you could start at the very bottom position and work your way up. And like, that's the whole reason I got my degree. Well, half the reason. Half the reason was because COVID had just hit, and I was bored working from home and needed something to fill some of my time. So I decided to go to online college. But the other part of the reason was that I had hit my limit there. I had no way to progress. Every job past that required a degree. In fact, the job I was in required a degree, and I just got lucky to be able to get into that job without a degree due to some other layoffs and problems that were happening. So, like, I hit a point that I never thought I would hit in my life, where I had to have a degree to do anything more. And I'm so, again, when I talk about like God's plan and all these things, I thought because I didn't go to college when I got right out of school, because I never thought I'd be able to pay for college, I'd never be able to afford it, that I would never go to college. And yet 15 years later, I'm going to college and getting a degree because it all worked out in just the right, perfect way. And I didn't even have to afford it. Work paid for it. They paid for my entire degree and then laid me off less than a year later. So, like, I guess thanks for that, but also, like, why did y'all do that? Okay, it looks like they want to take out this fortress first, so let's go take out this fortress before we continue. I don't understand the math on that of paying for my entire degree and then laying me off, but I'm happy to have the degree. It's been wonderful, so... I wish I would have got my degree in something else, though. I did basic business communication, business administration, and a minor in communication. And I really wish I had gotten an HR degree. HR jobs seem like the place to be, that there's always going to be a need for HR jobs and people in HR and all that sort of thing. So I kind of regret not getting an HR degree, but... I know everyone says get a tech degree because there's a lot of high-paying jobs in tech, but I have heard all the stories about tech, and I do not want to be in tech. I don't think. I get that there's more money to be made, but I'm at a point in my life where I can safely say I care less about the money and I care more about my free time and happiness. So I want that more coveted work-life balance, right? Money is good, but work-life balance is more important to me right now. So that's what I would rather invest in, is finding a job with a good work-life balance. I want to be in HR. Tech people are weird. I know the meme is that all the tech people are furries. Here's the thing. I don't understand the hate for furries. And honestly, I kind of get it. Like, I get wanting to be a furry, like... It doesn't even have to be a furry, but the idea behind putting on a costume and no one knows who you are, and you can be out in public and be whatever you want to be and do whatever you want to do without being seen or judged or anything like that, that sounds great, to be honest. Like, I get wanting that carefree whimsy of I can be whatever I want to be, I can do whatever I want to do, and no one will know who I am. Like, anonymity, that I want in life. I would love to be able to go out in public and no one know who I am, no one be able to judge what I'm doing, because all they see, I know when people look at me, they see, oh, that's a 6'4" fat dude. He's probably some creep, or he's gonna hurt me or say something stupid, so I don't want anything to do with them. And I don't like that. I would love to be able to be out in public and not have to deal with those preconceived notions. And I understand every single person deals with that, right? And like women deal a lot more with that sort of pre-notions and judgment. So I get that. I'm not saying I have it worse than anyone else, but everyone deals with all that sort of stuff. So I understand the idea of putting on a costume and not having to deal with that. I get that. I understand wanting that. I'm a stay-at-home mom with my kid. Needs HR. He's constantly bullying me. Hits me sometimes. Walks in the bathroom when I'm there. He needs HR. Oh, there's a tank right there. I walked right into a tank. Oh, we're surrounded. Oh, this is bad. The meme of tech people being furries is because a large amount of the people who go to conventions ask their job and they say that they're in tech. I mean, that's the only way you can afford to be a furry, to be honest. Between the art commissions that are like $1,000, your fursuits can cost $1,000 to $5,000. You might have multiple suits. Like, that's the only way you can afford to be a furry, is to work in tech, to have the kind of disposable income to have a good fursuit and art of your character and everything else. So, like, I get it. That stuff is expensive, especially the high quality custom commissions. Like, forget about it. All right, mission complete. Let's get out of here. There's a lot of enemies around here.
To the sky!
As a photographer, I take any opportunity to go get photos that I can. I went to a festival, and the local furry group decided to go to the festival as well, and they were walking around. And there were some low quality fursuits and there were some high quality fursuits. Just a bunch of people coming out to have fun. Nothing wrong with it. I enjoyed it. Took some photos of them. But the funniest thing was this boomer Karen got really upset because the furries were there and walking around and showing off their costumes and having fun. And she turns to her husband and she's like, "Oh, why are there monsters here?" And I don't think she was calling the furries monsters like they're monstrous people, but like she looked at the costumes of, like, one person was Bowser, one person was like your standard fox, and she's like, it's a monster, like it's a fox. Like, I don't know how you get monster out of this, but she was so upset and she just kept asking, like, why are they letting monsters in here? Why are they allowing monsters in here? I don't get it. Master Blaster, hello, good morning, how's it going? Very, very upset that they let the furries walk around. The kids loved it. A bunch of the kids wanted to have fun with the funny little animals. They were just having a good time. Got some good photos out of it. But it was just so funny to see someone get so upset over someone wearing a fox costume. Ooh, direct hit. Is a laser cannon any good for bots? When I use it, it takes way too long to kill enemies, especially tanks, when I aim for the weak points. To me, the laser cannon is the best weapon for bots, period. It has unlimited ammo. It has a huge range. It does take longer than any anti-tank gun on the weak points, but like Hulks, if you hit Hulks in the face, you can take them down in about 3 seconds. It can shoot the aircraft out of the sky. It can destroy every single unit. So it's not the best weapon against every single unit type. It's the jack of all trades. It can handle every single unit type at a range fairly well. So it's very good for being able to handle every situation. That's why I absolutely love the laser cannon. If you want to see more of it in action, if you look through my videos, I did a video on why the bots are easier than the bugs, and a big portion that I talk about the laser cannon and how good it truly is against the bots. Because you can blow up like the mini turrets, you can take those down. Take down Hulks, you can take down tanks, you can take down the aircraft. You can even blow up Fortress factory striders with it. Granted, that one takes a while, but if you shoot them in the eye, at the weak point, it will destroy factory striders. So it truly does work. Something fierce.
Requesting fortification.
They were technically monsters. Foxes don't become human-sized. I guess I could see that argument, but it was a Japanese fest, so I get that. I get that furries aren't inherently Japanese, but we do have the, you know, like kitsunes and foxes that are part of the Japanese lore. So yeah, let them have fun. Let them have fun. Nerf factory strider cannon turrets. Oh, they are the worst. Those turrets for sure snipe you from across the map. Bots are definitely easier. Bugs give you nightmares. Yeah, the bots are for sure easier. Well, they were. And then they gave us the Flame Brigade. The Flame Brigade. The Flame Brigade definitely made bots harder. And when they upgraded their AI with it, it definitely made them at least more challenging. I still think the bugs are harder. Factory Striders are easy. Yeah, I like the factories. I like the addition of the Factory Striders. I want to see... I know they added the new special Hulk factories that can now produce Hulks. I'd like to see a Factory Strider factory, like a huge plant that's making Factory Striders. I think that would be awesome.
ETA T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
I would really enjoy that. I would really enjoy more difficulty. I want them to add a difficulty 11, 12, 15. Give me missions that I can't beat. I want there to be difficulty levels so high that you can't reasonably expect to beat it. That you need truly need a crack squad of elite soldiers to take them on. I would love more difficulties. I would love the gun shop to be able to alter my guns. I'd love to be able to alter the armor. Here's the thing though, and I made this video 6 months ago, so I also would not be opposed to them stopping making Helldivers 2 and starting work on Helldivers 3. And I know Helldivers 2 just came out. It's a great game. I don't have anything against it. But it's built in a dead engine that has a nightmare amount of bugs and problems with it, right? There's only like 100 people in the world who know how to program on the engine. It's wonky and out of date, and it gets no more updates. The people who built the engine no longer work on it. Like, there's clearly a expiration date on the engine. And every patch they put out for this game is just prolonging the inevitable. So as much as I want them to keep making content, and I enjoy the game, and I will buy any content they put out, I want to support it, I also would understand if they said, look, this game was made on a dead engine, so we are going to stop making things for it, and we are going to focus on making Helldivers 3 in like an Unreal Engine or something that has, you know, more flexibility and more programmers who are a part of it, so that we can provide you a better experience. I would not be opposed to that, because there truly is a limited amount of time. As people get laid off or quit or move on, as they get old and retire, whatever it may be, they're going to lose programmers. At some point, there's only going to be like 10 people who even know how to program in the engine, and they're not going to be able to do any more updates. So I'd rather see them start working on the next generation of game now, rather than waiting for there to be a problem.
Victory was never in doubt.
The Incineration Core was definitely a lot of fun. I like running Incineration Armor just so I can use the double-edged sickle and just hold down the fire button. Like, that is so much fun to light yourself on fire and just absolutely wreck people with unlimited ammo. ChatGPT can code. You know, I tried ChatGPT the other day because I hadn't touched it in a long time and people were talking about it. I am very impressed with how far that has come, but I still don't understand. Last time they put out a statistic, they said the average ChatGPT user was talking to it for like 3 hours. Like, I understand doing a quick Google search, basically. You're asking, hey, can you tell me this or answer me this or whatever it may be. I don't understand people who are still having 3-hour conversations with ChatGPT. That I truly don't understand how people are treating it like a human and replacing human engagement with talking to the robot. And maybe I'll never understand that. Maybe it's a next generation thing, but like I have never asked it a question or talked to it in a way that people, and the way that made me thought like, wow, this is a good substitute for talking to a person, you know? I'd rather just go talk to my wife. But I guess maybe people don't have that luxury. I know that I'm very blessed to have, I know this is going to be an upsetting opinion, but this is the absolute truth. I have the best wife in the world, #1 wife. I'm sorry. Everyone else can fight over having number 2, number 3, number 4, but I have the best wife in the world. So I understand not everyone has that blessing and luxury. So I do, to a degree, understand why you would seek out a replacement, but I would not talk to ChatGPT for hours on end, I guess is my point. ChatGPT is my husband's second wife. I wouldn't either, but rather than just jump on to Helldivers 3, Arrowhead should stop making content for a short while and fix the spaghetti code. But that's the problem, is that they can't fix it, because every time they fix something, it breaks something else, because the engine is so wonky. I don't think they're ever going to get to a point where they actually fix all the bugs, because every time they try and change something, it breaks something else. ChatGPT is a website and an app. It is both. It is like the go-to standard for AI engines right now. So yeah, I don't think they're ever going to truly fix the game, because like a lot of the early bugs, you could tell like they don't know the engine too well, because again, no one knows the engine because no one used it. But like they had all sorts of wonky errors that when they tried to adjust the damage that flame did, all of a sudden flamethrowers didn't work anymore, or that if they changed the way collision works, now rockets don't work. You go ragdolling everywhere. Like every time they try and fix one thing, it just breaks so much other stuff. He just asked it about his surgery and stuff. It's pretty dang accurate. He also uses it for work. Oh yeah, I understand people who use it for like work and double checking things, but there are people who are like, ChatGPT, pretend that you're my boyfriend and ask me about my day. And then they'll just like to have this whole role play session where it's like, pretend you're my best friend and talk to me about my upcoming vacation to Kokomo. And then they'll just talk for hours with it, and that's the part I don't get. Oh, we're in trouble. We're getting overwhelmed. Oh, I'm getting blown up. Oh, we're in trouble. Run. So many lasers. So many lasers. Oh, that's not good. They're pushing me out of bounds. We're out of stims. We're out of luck. We're in a bad position here. Hopefully I can at least take the turrets off this. I can neuter the factory strider. Nope, not fast enough. I'm 19, I never used ChatGPT. Some idiots in my class use it as a crutch for assignments. Oh yeah, we've seen so many people who are doing that. They just say, ChatGPT, write my essay. They're ruining their own opportunities. There was a teacher on TikTok, which teachers on TikTok is a whole other problem that needs to be solved. But there was a teacher on TikTok who was talking about, as an April Fool's joke for their high schoolers. These are high school age students. As an April Fool's joke, they told them that we've been reading a book. We're halfway through the book in class. For April Fools, you need to write a 5-paragraph essay. No, 5 paragraphs. So a paragraph is 3 to 5 sentences. So you need to write 25 sentences. You need to write 25 sentences about a book that you've been reading. And they said that a good 70% of their class, like, straight up said, that's impossible. I cannot write an essay that long about something that I've been reading. And they had an hour to do it, and they said it was just eye-opening how many of the students felt that writing 20 sentences was an insurmountable task. That was eye-opening for me too. That does not feel like an insurmountable task. They have LLM tailor-made for roleplay. So I actually have been playing around with those role-playing LLMs. I did a series. I thought it would be really fun to try. Since I'm Catholic, obviously this is a religious channel. I talk about religion. I thought it would be fun to go on to those LLMs and ask it about religion and see if I could get it to convert me one way or another, or if it had a certain bias for or against Christianity, certain things like that. And it was really interesting. Some of those LLMs, I could get them very easily with manipulation to get me to try and convert to Christianity. Other ones, it was very clear there was an anti-Christian bias built into it, and it was very much trying to convert me to Satanism or New Ageism, and it was just giving all sorts of incorrect information that was very anti-Christian. So it was really interesting to see those biases built into it. And so the end result of it was talking about how these things are dangerous because these are being used by 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds who can't critical think, who don't have those bias, who can't see those biases and operate within the bounds of it. LLM, large language model. It's basically, as far as I understand it in a simple term, it's like what your autocorrect on your phone is. It doesn't actually like think what your next word is going to be, the predictive text. It's simply saying, when I've analyzed 1,000 people writing this sentence, more than likely the next word is going to be dog. So I will suggest that you use the word dog, and people will see that like, oh wow, it's magic. I was going to say dog. Well, no, it's not magic. It's literally just statistics. Statistically, 90 people out of 100 said dog next, so it just spat out the word dog. It's not magic. It's literally just predictive. So all the large language models in a high level nutshell, that's basically what it is. It is just analyzing billions of data points and saying, out of all these billions, statistically, this is more likely to be the the next word to come. With good language topics, it's easy to turn out essays. Oh, definitely. I loved writing essays as a kid. I could go on, but I was part of debate club, right? So I loved talking and talking and talking. Go figure, the guy who loves talking became a streamer. So, I graduated from debate and writing essays to now I yap with a mic here and share my unpopular opinions with y'all. Speaking of unpopular opinions, we're almost done for the day. But I discovered a food that I need in my life. Here's the idea. Here's my pitch. My pitch is pico de gallo, but instead of tomatoes as the base for the pico de gallo, use pickles and make pickle de gallo. I think that would be good. I want to try some pickle de gallo. So that's gonna be. I'm gonna buy a jar of pickles because I want to try. Popeyes is making pickle lemonade, and I want to try and make some pickle lemonade. If that sounds good, so I'm gonna make some pickle lemonade, and then I'm gonna use the leftover pickles to make pickle de gallo. So that is the next foods that I am making and going to try. I am hyped for it. If you can't tell, I love pickles. I absolutely love pickles. Beetroot? I don't think I've ever had beetroot. Wow, I'm awful. Go ahead and play, bro. Even with AI essays, you may spot logical gaps. Oh yeah, I think it's kind of like you can identify an AI photo when when you're trying to, it's pretty easy to identify an AI photo. There's a lot of tells for it. Same thing with AI essays. Like you can see the logic and everything like that. That's some AI leap of faith stuff right there. So it is about time for me to stand up and get ready for work. So unfortunately, that is all for me today. As always, let's end with our prayer and get ready for our work day. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Lord, thank you for this blessed day, and thank you for all that you do for me. Today, we pray for all the people who are going to be entering into reconciliation, the sacrament of confession, as we prepare for Holy Week. Lord, help us all to make a good confession, and help us all to be brought closer to you as we prepare for Easter Sunday. We pray for all the priests who are feeling burnt out, who are feeling alone and isolated. Lord, help them. We pray for all the victims of war, all the families who are suffering, who've lost mothers, brothers, sisters, fathers, in this senseless violence. Lord, help to be with them and help bring an end to the conflict. Lord, we pray for all the people who feel alone, who are sick, who have needs that are not being met. Lord, help them. And finally, we pray for all the souls in purgatory, all the souls who've been forgotten, all the people who've been forgotten. Lord, they have no one left to pray for them. Lord, help them. All this we pray in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I will be streaming again on Friday morning, so I will see you then. Until then, it is Wednesday. Have a blessed day. Make a good day. And we will see you on Friday morning, bright and early, for more waffles.